Hello everyone, welcome back to Live Talks with PB. I've been hired, and this video that I'm making is not just to promote my hiring, but I'm excited to connect with people who are still in their job search. Today, I don't want to talk much about how I got the job because I'll make an additional video on that. I just want to talk about something much bigger. Having the courage to create the career and a life you actually want is something that I'm going to touch point today. Now, this message is for for yourself. Maybe if you're looking for a new job or applying anywhere, facing rejection or sitting in the job that is no longer making you happy. Now, maybe you want to switch, but you're scared. uh, you might be thinking, what if I leave and I don't find anything better? What if nobody hires me? What if I make a wrong decision? See, I understand that fear, but here is what I want you to remember, right? There are tens and thousands of jobs that are coming up every day, and opportunities are lying that there like mountains, right? Now, your current job is not the only option. You should remember your current salary is not the ceiling, and one rejection may not just decide your future. But before you find your next opportunity, you need to discover something really very important. Now, that's upon you. What's the best thing about you is only known to you because you are the boss of yourself. uh, what you generally need to be knowing is what you are genuinely good about. What have you learned throughout your experience, and what problems can you solve? That's something important that you need to know. uh, what do people trust you with? What makes you different from anyone else? That's something that you need to pen down in case if you're thinking about a job change. And maybe you're good at sales, technology, communication, management, maybe finance, operation, customer service, creativity, or even leadership, like mentoring people, motivating them also takes a quality. So if you're good at that, maybe you can develop your career in that front. Find that strength is something that I want to know, and something that I want to tell you. And once you know that, develop it, sharpen it, and learn how to sell your skills. Now, because getting hired isn't just about finding a company with a vacancy, it's about showing that you can bring value to that company. So don't simply say, I have 5 years of experience, or I have 10 years of experience. Just tell them what those 5 or 10 years have taught you. What challenges did you handle in your previous role, and what results did you create? What problems did you solve for your previous employers, and what can you do for them as a business? So that's how you should stop looking like another applicant and start looking like a solution to the company that's hiring. And if you're unhappy with your current job, don't let frustration make your decision for you. So prepare your mind first, learn new skills. Now that's something extremely important, because the world is changing big time. Believe me, when I was young and my aspiration was totally different than what I'm doing now. But I had to adapt things. I had to improvise, and here I am sitting right in front of you. And I'm sure the people who know me will understand what I mean. Now, coming back to yourself, now in case once you find out that what skills really you would like to be paid for, make sure you put that down on paper, improve your resume, and build your network. Now that's very important. Upgrade your LinkedIn profile to a way where it's eye catchy, and research companies who are hiring, practice interviews, start applying. If you need any of support, I'll be glad to really pitch in from my side. If that's something that you like, you can also drop me messages. We can also have an email conversation, or however it takes a good something good out of the conversation. Now, you don't necessarily have to quit your job tomorrow after looking at this video, please. Yeah, you just have to start moving today. Now, the movement can happen in your mind, and of course, the rest will follow. Now, here's something that I really want you to remember: not trying is failing, as per me and as per my gurus, who have mentored me. Uh, what I would say is, if you never apply, you would never know where you stand. You would never interview. If you are never interviewed, you never know how to improve. So, if even if you fail in a few interviews, that's still okay. It's not the end of the world until it's the end of the world. Always remember this. Now, if you never ask, you never discover the answer, right? So, if you never take a shot, you'll always wonder what could happen. So, go for it, have a kill. But here's a beautiful part, failing is not actually failing. Rejection isn't a failure. A failure is when you don't try. Yeah. A failed interview isn't really a failure, because I gave many interviews, believe me. I'll be discussing that in a separate part as well. Now, trying for a bigger role and not getting isn't a failure, because I tried for, like 2 levels up from what I was, but believe me, I got 1 level up from where I was. So, I failed in a few interviews that I'll be talking lately. But what I understand is, sometimes failure is simply a feedback for you to implement it. And don't forget to ask about feedback, from from the person who's interviewing you, because professionals who are interviewing really like the way that applicants ask about the feedback. So I'll also be making a few videos on what sort of questions will help you getting into a good place where the interviewers will really think that you need this job, and you can crack that one as well. Now, asking questions also will show what you need to improve. Will tell you what you need to improve. It tells you where the gap is, and sometimes failing is actually just a sign that you're ambitious enough to try something bigger. So don't be ashamed of trying. Be proud that you had a courage to step outside of your comfort zone. And believe me, unless you step out of a comfort zone, nothing really is going to change in your life. Just like a butterfly, as at the beginning, it's just a caterpillar, and then it grows into a butterfly, a beautiful one. So be open to move out of your comfort zone. Now, one thing I like to focus on is keep learning, keep improvising, and keep trying, because your career isn't created in 1 or 2 interviews. It's created through hundreds of discussions, one skill, one conversation, one application, and one opportunity at a time. So, like I always say, and you'll hear me saying this many times, start with a small step. Start is important, right? Like, if you have the best of the cars, and if you'd like to go for a drive, you have to start it, right? Similarly, if you like to go for a good a career, good kind of job application, you'll have to start, right? And that's why I don't want you to sit around waiting for your life to become better. It doesn't really happen. Yeah, create your dreams, create it in your mind first, then on the paper. And of course, take genuine support, right? And as I said, I'll be always here till the time, I really don't fail drastically. I've tried so many things in life. Yeah, this really isn't costing me anything apart from the light bill and the internet bill, and of course some time. But I'm just loving it. The way that people have interacted with me, and the way people have checked on my, stories and my videos. I really think people are really interested in knowing what's happening in my life, because I've been away from actually socializing with my friends and family. And now it's time to rebuild myself, my connections, my relationships. So I'm just taking my chances here as well. So uh, if at all you want a better career, build the skills, build yourself. Yeah. If you are looking for a better salary, increase the value you bring. Get some knowledge, get some updated knowledge. AI is booming. SEO is kind of on top. There's technical stuff, a lot of things to learn. So if you're looking for a leadership position, start developing leadership qualities. Look at videos online. Ask your superiors how you can develop yourself. So that's something totally upon you. Yeah. If you want to change industries, try learning about the industry that you really aspire to move on to. Believe me, there are tens and thousands of jobs. Yeah. Because if you want something that you have never had, you may never become someone that you have never been. Yeah, that's something that one of my digital guru has said. So I'm excited about the new things that are coming my way, and I'm really happy about it. You can see that. And if you like, you can learn, you can improve, you can relevant yourself to the positions that you're applying. But you need to start. Yeah, you need to start or restart, right? You need to push your limits. And if you are job hunting, don't just give up on a couple of interviews. Believe me, you'll be there. Just be positive, right? Keep learning about the positions that you're applying, and what it takes to be there. If you're unhappy where you're working, don't just get stuck. Like, I've moved on. I was terribly pissed with the kind of work environment I'd been in, and I just took my chances. But yeah, finally, I got a better position, I would say, and I'll be telling you what exactly, I've moved from where to where, and what exactly it's happening in my life. I'll be making a separate video on that. Now, if you're scared to switch, don't just build up blindly. Yeah, take a calculated step. Right now, I'm sure everyone has financial commitments, so take a calculated step. Um, all you need is the right one to really figure out what's working. So when that opportunity comes, be ready. Right now, know your strength is something that I told you already. Know your skills that I told you already. One thing that's important is know your achievements, know your value. Because tomorrow, once you're sitting in front of an interviewer and they're going to ask you, what is it that you did tremendously helpful to your old organization, you should be able to tell them at least one thing that you made a drastic difference in the previous organization. And that's what will strike them. Now, most importantly, believe enough in yourself, right? And give yourself a chance. Because sometimes the biggest differences between, the person who gets the opportunity and the person who doesn't at all try. It's the person who is willing to try always wins. So if this message isn't for you, that's okay. I'm sure in your friend circle, if you think someone needs a push, someone needs a motivation, just push this video to them, and rest, everything will fall in place. Share with someone who is afraid of trying out of their current job. And if you think that they need a push, yeah, please do motivate them. Someone who's sitting in a job they hate, that's something that you can help them to move on. Someone who's scared to apply can really connect with me, and I'll tell them how to get into that mindset. And someone who's being rejected also can connect with me, because I've been rejected many times. Just don't give up, and that's more important. Maybe your share can become a little push to the needed, and of course, for me, it will really help me getting through this rough time where I need to really connect with a lot of people and try making a difference to their life. So please do that. Again, I'm Prashant, and this is my channel, Life Talks with PB, where I'll be touching a lot of topics, not only career. Uh, like you might have seen, I've also started working out, so I'll be talking a little bit about physical activities that you can do, and of course mental health is something that I'll be touching as well. So as I said, I've been hired, and I now want to see you creating the next chapter too. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing your limits. Yeah, take a chance, take a shot. Let me know if I can help. And remember, not trying is failing. If you're trying and failing, you have a feedback to really work upon. So keep trying, keep failing, keep getting up. Like someone has said, uh, until you fall down, you don't know how to get up. So it's okay. Falling is okay. Failing is okay. I've tried so many businesses, and people looking at this video might know how many times I've failed, but I'm still there. So I'm still fighting. So failure is not, the last thing. Ambition is what keeps you going. So, keep yourself motivated with watching videos like this, maybe. And, let's create a good life for ourselves, for our family. And I'll be making more videos. So, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Yep. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Namaste.